Hello, it's Darren from Investor Income. Welcome to the channel. Looking at the potentials here for Nadex binary trades, and we only trade out the money and at money contracts. We do not trade any in the money contracts. In the money contracts, do not put the balance in your favor, and does the very opposite, puts it against you. So do not trade those. Okay, the only way you're going to make money is with at the monies or out the monies, and we put the odds in our favor always in our system. Always the same thing. We can stay consistent. Just do the same thing over and over again. Okay, the US dollar Japanese yen has been fantastic. You can see the movement today and the spikes are unreal. So the entries early hour of the morning. Any US traders can trade the system exactly the same. These are entries you can see come into the money 2 or 3 hours after, and the same goes here on the pullback. With the system, we sometimes trade pullbacks as well, and we can also then do the same again. The spike again, you could come out of that spike any day of the week. In Nadex, just close the contract early and take your money. If money is on the table, then just take it. Do not stay in necessarily to the expiry. Well, on this one, you'd be very comfortable doing so, but you can come back down lower and continue the trend on. We just trade the deviation back to the average, or we just trade the deviation until we're happy with the profit. And with Nadex, you can trade those straight back and close the contracts early and take a nice bit of profit on each contract. Especially with the out the monies, you are going to be doing very nicely on these trades, trust me. And it is a winning strategy. It's just the same over and over. We do have challenging times. You look back here. If you were to take contracts here, you'd enter up here, you'd re-enter down here, and possibly a third entry down the bottom here, and you'd trade it back. This goes overbought, doesn't get near the moving average at all, and we'd close that. This will be a loss, this will be a win, and the other one will be a win. Overall, we're a winner. Worst case scenario is you just break even. That's absolutely fine. There wasn't that much deviation. There was a little bit. We get the entries down the bottom, and we win. We win on the pullback, and we win again. This is reality. More often than not, you're going to exit for a tiny profit or break even. Very, very rarely is there a loss. It can be if it just carries on trending against everything. If there's some news that's come out and you get in at the wrong time, can happen. You do take losses. No system's foolproof. But with my strategy, it's absolutely awesome. We put the odds heavily in our favor, so we are going to stand the best chance of getting some decent profit. And with Nadex, it's awesome because you've got the benefit of being able to close the trades early and take your money out rather than traditional binary options where you get cleaned out. So out the monies work very well, especially if they're just out the money. Excellent way to trade with this system, and your risk is capped. That's the good thing about Nadex. It caps your risk. You know exactly how much you're risking on each trade, and all our trades are 1-to-1, if not better. And that is the way we go. Now we can close those contracts out early, so you may not take the full 1-to-1 ratio, but either way, you're putting things in your favor to a large degree. So this is just an example of the US dollar Japanese yen. We can trade different assets, different time frames. It works exactly the same. I'm just going to show you some examples. So this is Bitcoin. This is spike down, deviation away from the moving average. 2 entries, getting out there at the moving average. Absolutely awesome trade. And this was yesterday evening. So absolutely fantastic. And you can see we're oversold there again. We've got some deviation. So that would have been an entry that we've just had. You could have taken 2 entries there, and we'll see what happens with that one. I'm guessing it might come back to the moving average at some stage, like it always does. We can check over here, and we have some nice deviation yet again, straight back to the moving average. Doesn't quite touch, it's only a few points off. It touches there, however. Lovely entries again. I trade Bitcoin as well because it is just absolutely, it just happens over and over. Bang, straight in again, buy, make money, sell, make money, buy. That's what we do. So this is Bitcoin. So let's have a look at something else. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Can we spot any opportunities? They all come back to the average, to the average, to the average. Interesting. Now we're sitting around the average again. Interesting decision this market's got to make. So this is the Dow Jones on the 1 hour, and we are exactly on that average. So I am not doing a thing with that. And this is just a stock 3M. So we see these marks I've made in here for trades on the 1 minute. This is the 1 hour we're looking at. So we can see deviation, deviation, straight back. Overbought, up to the average, and down. Oversold, not much deviation there. You could take these ones and then re-enter, or you could just take these ones. These can go heavily oversold, but these are just buy opportunities. So you can trade stocks, you can trade Bitcoin, you can trade currencies. I trade mainly currencies. I do Bitcoin as well. And when this market crashes eventually, I will be doing stocks again. So I'm not doing anything, as I've just shown you, reasons why. It is in nowhere's land. I need it to be at extremes. I put the odds in my favour, not in the bank's favour. So I'm waiting for the crash. It should be the latter half of this year. I'm still going for around the October, November, December range. I reckon that's when we'll be looking at it. In fact, let's just quickly go back and have a look at the Dow. And we're going to change to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so you can see that the prices came down, went oversold, came back up, and now it's going to be heading down. This is 4-hour chart now, remember. So we are heavily overbought on the 4-hour chart. That is not a good sign for the market. As you can see, we get sell-offs. So we're going to have some movement down. Okay, so the market's going to be coming down. How heavily down depends on whether they just keep printing money. I don't know. But there will be opportunities come up. I'm just going to switch to the 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart, you can see sold off nicely, and then you can see we are entering slightly overbought territory. So we'll keep an eye on that one. If it rolls over and heads down, it's going to come down hard to the 20,000 level around this moving average, strange enough. If we do break the moving average to the downside, things will get extremely interesting. So if we do break this average to the downside and then come back up, which it will do, and touch this average, will roll over. It's already starting to roll over again. So when it comes down and it comes back up and touches that average, we're then going to get another sell-off occurring. If it does, who knows with this market? I mean, who knows anything really? But if they print to infinity, it will come down eventually. It'll just take a lot longer if they keep on pumping it up. But it looks bearish to me, especially in the medium term. So down at the end of 2021, we're going to get a sell-off again. It's going to go down to these lows, 20,000 mark, and then it will have to make a decision. It might then have a bit of zigzag down. I think it's going to have a grind lower. I think once the penny drops over the next few years, we're going to get that sell-off occurring, and it's going to grind lower as it did on the Nikkei. And we can see what's happened on the Nikkei on the daily chart. And if we go back on the Nikkei, you can see when we crashed, it came back up, came down, and then this is the bear market where the Nikkei was at 30. When you go back that far, and this is what happens: it goes down, it goes up, and goes down, and that is a bear market for you. You can see the Nikkei was significantly higher at 38,000, and we are currently on the Nikkei at 22,000. So if you do not believe that the markets can crash and not recover, take a look at Japan. That's what happens when bubbles burst. It's not necessarily guaranteed, and they've had all this liquidity and free money printing from 2008 disaster. I mean, down to 8,000 from 38 on the Nikkei. Markets always go up though. Dividend investing, you know. You can invest in dividends, but you gotta be prepared. I hold stocks still, got some. Most of them are sold, but I do have a few still. You gotta be prepared for that. You can go an awful long time. 1990. 1989.90 to today, and it's 2/3 the value it was 30 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later. So yeah, let's just hope that doesn't happen in the Dowie.